Hello students, today we're dealing with the proportion and alignment of the human face. Proportion, P-R-O-P-O-R-T-I-O-N. The proportion and alignment, A-L-I-G-N-M-E-N-T. The proportion and alignment of the human face. You measure and align things with the line of symmetry and the eye line. So we're going to start off with a big oval. Then we're going to measure halfway through that oval. Halfway. This is called the line of symmetry. Symmetry means the same or similar on both sides. Then we're going to work with the eye line. The eye line is halfway from the top of the head to the chin. So we're going to make the eye line halfway through that giant oval. You can also label it halfway. You can also label it halfway. Eye line. Now this axis right here is important because all of the measurements are generated from here, giving you way more accuracy. Now that we have our line of symmetry and our eye line, the space between two eyes is enough space for a third eye. So you have three equal spaces, the left eye, the space in between, and the right eye. You could also measure with a clear ruler. That would be a little bit more than an inch and a half. So we're going to take a human measurement, but I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger on the board so that you can kind of see. So mine is going to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to take that measurement for the space between the two eyes and mark right on the eye line. I'm going to mark the same space for the right eye, and I'm going to mark the same space for the other eye. Now, the sides of the face, the temple area, does have a certain amount of width. It's generally a similar space, but depending on who you are, it might be a little bit smaller or a little bit wider if you have very high cheekbones. So that is a measurement that you have to pay attention to make this very accurate. Once you have your equal spaces, then you decide on the shape of your eyes. So for your features, we deal with the shape, the size, the angle. This word proportion is very specific to that. Okay, so the type of eyes that we can have on the eye line, some eyes begin on the eye line and end above the eye line, like that. So they go up like an almond. Some eyes begin on the eye line and end on the eye line. Very simple. Some eyes droop a little bit lower. So you tend to have these angles. You tend to have some angles. So when you look at the shape, the angle, the size, and the placement, then you go ahead and mark in the shape of your eye. The left side is often very similar to the right side in terms of shape and proportion. Very similar. Sometimes they're not exactly the same. Now, for your pupil and iris, the pupil, the iris, you tend to see the bottom but not the top of that circle. There are very few people where you can see the whole circle. But you usually see the whole pupil. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Now this is my not side. This is what you're not going to do. You're not going to make this funky circle. You're not going to make a big googly eye inside. You're not. Because this is often done and it's very inaccurate. Once you have the shape, angle, and size of your eyes and you feel like they look like you enough, the next step is your eyelashes. Eyelashes are hair. They're very delicate. They begin on the lid and many of them curve over or they move directly out, sort of like covering the eye. It depends on your eyelashes. Mine tend to begin under and curve over the lid. But they're hair. So you do make them very delicate as hair. Now these markers are not doing much justice to it, so it looks like false eyelashes, but you get the idea. What you're not gonna do is this right here or the corn stalks. You're not gonna do, okay? Eyelashes begin on the eye line and curve above. Some are longer, some are shorter, some behave very nicely as if you've put your mascara on, but some of them are kind of all over the place. So you really need to work on individually doing each eyelash as best you can. The next step is to measure the distance from your eyelash to your eyebrow. It's usually 1 digit. This is a digit. Or you can literally also measure with your pencil. But you put those markings the same on the right, the same on the left. So that would be the distance from your eyelash to your eyebrow. Then you will work in again the angle of your eyebrows. So some people's eyebrows go directly up and over for an angle. Some people's eyebrows are a distinct curve. Some people's eyebrows are very flat and wispy and thick. So you have to figure out your angle, and again, your eyebrows are hair. So what we're not going to do is the Betty Boop marking. We're not going to do the whatever. Those are not eyebrows. We're going to make the proper angle and the way the hair grows. Sometimes these two are not exactly the same. Similar, but not exactly the same. And sometimes they overlap. They're little short ones that kind of overlap the longer ones. Again, similar, but not the same. So there we have eyebrows. The proper alignment of the nose, we have to measure the length of the nose from the axis right here in between the eye line and the line of symmetry to the tip of the nose. You can measure with your pencil or you can measure with your finger. Noses are usually 2 digits, okay? 2 digits of your finger. So if you're taller, your digits are bigger than mine. So we're gonna go ahead and measure. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger because I made the eyes bigger. So we know the length of our nose. The side of the nostrils align with the corner of the eyes. You can measure them this way, or you can sort of measure left to right with your pencil and your thumb. So we're going to put these guidelines here for the width of the nose. And we know the length. So now we're going to go with the shape and angle of the nose. Some noses are very round and plump. Nostrils are kind of closed, not wide open. Some are very long and perky and needly with the nostrils open, and there are many in betweens. You have to look at the shape of your nose, your nostrils, the angles, the width and the length of your nose. Then you put that in for mastery. And this, again, should look like you. This should look like you because you're the one that you're actually drawing in a self-portrait. So then the lips are right under the nose. You can measure from the tip of the nose to the top of the lip. Some people have a really tiny space. A lot of older gentlemen, especially when they're tall, they have a long lip. But mine is very short. I'm very short also. There we have it. So you measure this and you put your guideline, the distance from the lip to the nose. And then you can measure the width of your lip left to right if you just want a general measurement. Or you can also measure the corner of the mouth is just inside the iris. So we're going to create this guideline here, just inside the iris, just inside the iris. And again, these are general guidelines. You can be tinier, you can be wider, but these are general guidelines. Then now again, we go for the shape, the angle, and the size. The shape, the angle, and the size of these lips. Some people have a very deep Cupid's bow. Some people don't really have much of a Cupid's bow. So we're working on the shape. And again, lips are also pretty symmetrical. Similar or same on both sides. Left to right. Now sometimes the top lip is smaller, sometimes the bottom lip is smaller. These are your DNA, these are your details, your specific details. So you have to deal with, again, the shape, the size, the angle. Now that we have this face in here, we don't have a melon head. So now we're going to measure from the eyebrow to your hairline, right here. You can pull up your hair. If you have bangs, you measure from the eyebrow to the hairline. That's a measurement. But again, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on the board. The point is the same measurement on the left, same measurement on the right. There. And you can literally measure every area from the mid part of the eyebrow to the corner of your hairline right there where it curves in. So we know we have a little curve right there, right there. You measure then from the corner of the nose to your sideburns right here. You can see a general distance. What you don't want is a really fat face. You want a proper size face. But the same distance on the left, same distance on the right. Then you measure your chin from the bottom of the lip to the bottom of the chin. Again, I'm a short person, so we'll give this a little bit more room so this makes sense. You can see that if I stand here, this is so close to my human size. I did make it bigger so you could see it on the board. So once you have this done, you can sort of connect the dots to create the shape of the face. You could also add another measurement here for this angle, because you have the cheek and you have the jawbone. Very often the jawbone begins coming in right about at the corner of the mouth or just under the mouth. So we're going to go ahead and make that equal space. Once you have this, you basically connect the dots for the shape of the face. You're going to find you're going to achieve some levels of symmetry. For the hairline, you never make these very hard lines that look like this. This is wrong. You're dealing with hair, so you have to work in how your hair grows right there. That's too wide. You have to work in how your hair grows right there. So then we have a general face. That's a little bit chubby right there. But we also have a brain right here. So you can guesstimate from your forehead to the top of your head. It's a strange type of guesstimating. Like this, okay? So you give yourself enough room for your brain. You can actually measure it. You can eyeball it. But the point is, whatever you have on the left, you must have the same on the right. Again, the same or similar. But you must have a brain on. Okay? Your ears measure from the corner of the eye where your eyeglasses go. But they also measure right under the nose is the end of the ear tip. Again, these are general measurements. Some people can have slightly shorter, some people can have slightly longer. But ears are really huge. We generally see that they're probably 3 digits or more. And they begin right just behind these sideburns. And they correlate with the tip of the nose. Then you go in to make the shape of the ear. So we have some symmetry there. So you kind of have the general look of a human being right now and a girl with a ponytail. Now, necks are pretty big. Necks are very wide. You could also measure them visually from left to right, but generally they fall right from under this jawbone area. Okay? So right where you have this jawbone area, that's where you generally see this neck coming down. You can measure the length of a neck. You can observe it. You can do different things to kind of figure out just how long your neck looks or appears to be. I'm not very tall, so mine is very average. But there are some ballerinas with very long necks. There's some football players, the muscles that they have invade the neck. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and add in that nice gentle curve for that muscle that comes right to that neck area. And then the shoulders tend to go off the page. Okay? So that's a general human being. We're going to have a nice t-shirt on. So we're going to go ahead and do the wraparound collar to show that this person is actually wearing a t-shirt. If there's like a wrinkle or a fold or a shirt sleeve, then you know that this person is wearing a shirt, a nice t-shirt. There you have the general portrait. If you have long, straight hair, your hair begins here and extend with a nice contour line to show the length of the hair. Straight hair. What you're not going to do is this kind of hair. That's what you can't do, because hair doesn't grow like that. If you have curls, you literally demonstrate where your curls are and how they flow and how they grow, how high they are or how short they are. If you have curls, you put in that texture with gesture lines, gesture drawings. There is a time to create bangs. Your bangs tend to begin right here at the front of the face and they curl over the face, however they're cut. There's a time to create bangs. If you're working with plaits or braids, it's a very intricate thing that you have to do, because you have to actually begin the braid exactly, the plait exactly where you have it, and you have to draw the curves and turns of the hair exactly the way you braid it, and exactly the way it hangs or flows down, even to the correct length. So these are different hair types that you can work on. There are many more, but you really have to look in the mirror more than 50% of your drawing time. Accurate drawing requires for you to look at the subject more than 50% of your drawing time, because it is best that your eye sees with accuracy what you look like and your brain tells your hand what to create. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.